And we are back. Ezekiel chapter 25. God's message came to me. Son of man, face Ammon and preach against the people. Listen to the message of God, the Master. This is what God has to say. Because you cheered when my sanctuary was desecrated, and the land of Judah was devastated, and the people of Israel were taken into exile, I'm giving you over to the people of the east. They'll move in and make themselves at home, eating the food right off your tables and drinking your milk. I'll turn your capital, Rabbah, into pasture for camels, and all your villagers into corrals for flocks. Then you'll realize that I am God. God the Master says, because you clapped and cheered, venting all your malicious contempt against the land of Israel, I'll send in and hand you out as loot. First come, first serve. I'll cross you off the roster of nations. There'll be nothing left of you, and you'll realize that I am God. God the Master says, because Moab said, look, Judah's nothing special, I'll lay wide open the flank of Moab by exposing its lovely frontier villages to attack. Beth Jeshemoth, Baal Meon, and Kiriathaim, I'll lump Moab in with Ammon and give them to the people of the east for the taking. Ammon won't be heard from again. I'll punish Moab severely, and they'll realize that I am God. God the Master says, because Edom reacted against the people of Judah in spiteful revenge and was so criminally vengeful against them, therefore I, God the Master, will oppose Edom and kill the lot of them, people and animals both. I'll waste it. Corpses stretched from Timan to Dedan. I'll use my people Israel to bring my vengeance down on Edom. My wrath will fuel their action, and they'll realize it's my vengeance, decree of God the Master. God the Master says, because the Philistines were so spitefully vengeful all those centuries of stored up malice and did their best to destroy Judah, therefore I, God the Master, will oppose the Philistines and cut down the Cretans and anybody else left along the seacoast. Huge acts of vengeance, massive punishments. When I bring vengeance, they'll realize that I am God. Ezekiel chapter 26. As the waves of the sea, that's the title of the chapter, as the waves of the sea surging against the shore. Verse 1. In the 11th year, on the first day of the month, God's message came to me. Son of man, Tyre cheered when they got the news of Jerusalem, exclaiming, good, the gateway city is smashed. Now all her business comes my way. She's in ruins, and I'm in clover. Therefore, God the Master has this to say, I'm against you, Tyre, and I'll bring many nations surging against you as the waves of the sea surging against the shore. They'll smash the city walls of Tyre and break down her towers. I'll wash away the soil and leave nothing but bare rock. She'll be an island of bare rock in the ocean, good for nothing but drying fish nets. Yes, I've said so, decree of God the Master. She'll be loot, free pickings for the nations. Her surrounding villages will be butchered. Then they'll realize that I am God. God the Master says, look, out of the north, I'm bringing Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, a king's king, down on Tyre. He'll come with chariots and horses and riders, a huge army. He'll massacre your surrounding villages and lay siege to you. He'll build siege ramps against your walls. A forest of shields will advance against you. He'll pummel your walls with his battering rams and shatter your towers with his iron weapons. You'll be covered with dust from his horde of horses, a thundering herd of war horses, pouring through the breaches, pulling chariots. Oh, it will be an earthquake of an army and a city in shock. Horses will stampede through the streets, your people will be slaughtered, and your huge pillars strewn like matchsticks. The invaders will steal and loot all the wealth, all that stuff. They'll knock down your fine houses and dump the stone and timber rubble into the sea. And your parties, your famous good time parties, will be no more. No more songs, no more lutes. I'll reduce you to an island of bare rock, good for nothing but drying fish nets. You'll never be rebuilt. I, God, have said so. Decree of God, the Master. This is the message God, the Master, to Tyre. Won't the ocean islands shake at the crash of your collapse, at the groans of your wounded, at your mayhem and massacre? All up and down the coast, the princes will come down from their thrones, take off their royal robes and fancy clothes, and wrap themselves in sheer terror. They'll sit on the ground, shaken to the core, horrified at you. Then they'll begin chanting a funeral song over you. Sunk, sunk to the bottom of the sea, famous city on the sea, power of the seas, you and your people, intimidating everyone who lived in your shadows. But now the islands are shaking at the sound of your crash, ocean islands in tremors from the impact of your fall. The message of God, the Master. When I turn you into a wasted city, a city empty of people, a ghost town, and when I bring up this great ocean deeps and cover you, then I'll push you down among those who go to the grave, the long, long dead. I'll make you live there, in the grave, in old ruins, with the buried dead. You'll never see the land of the living again. I'll introduce you to the terrors of death, and that'll be the end of you. They'll send out search parties for you, but you'll never be found. Decree of God the Master. Ezekiel chapter 27. God's message came to me. You, son of man, raise a funeral song over Tyre. Tell Tyre, get away to the sea, merchant to the world. Tell Tyre, gateway to the sea, merchant to the world, trader among the far-off islands. This is what God the Master says. You boast, Tyre, I'm the perfect ship, stately, handsome. You ruled the high seas from a real beauty, crafted to perfection. Your planking came from Mount Hermon junipers. A Lebanon cedar supplied your mast. They made your oars from sturdy Bashan oaks. Cypress from Cyprus, inlaid with ivory, was used for the decks. Your sail and flag were of colorful embroidered linen from Egypt. Your purple deck awnings also came from Cyprus. Men of Sidon and Arvad pulled the oars. Your seasoned seamen, O Tyre, were the crew. Ship's carpenters were old salts from Byblos. All the ships of the sea and their sailors clustered around you to barter for your goods. Your army was composed of soldiers from Paras, Lud, and Put, elite troops in uniformed splendor. They put you on the map. Your city police were imported from Arvad, Helek, and Gamad. They hung their shields from the city walls, a final, perfect touch to your beauty. Tarshish carried on business with you because of your great wealth. They worked for you, trading in silver, iron, tin, and lead for your products. Greece, Tubal, and Meshech did business with you, trading slaves and bronze for your products. Beth Togarma traded workhorses, war horses, and mules for your products. The people of Rhodes did business with you. Many far-off islands traded with you in ivory and ebony. Edom did business with you because of all your goods. They traded for your products with agate, purple textiles, embroidered cloth, fine linen, coral, and rubies. Judah and Israel did business with you. They traded for your products with premium wheat, millet, honey, oil, and balm. Damascus, attracted by your vast array of products and well-stocked warehouses, carried on business with you, trading in wine and Helbon and wool from Zahar. Danites and Greeks from Uzal traded with you, using wrought iron, cinnamon, and spices. Dedan traded with you for saddle blankets. Arabia and all the Bedouin sheiks of Kedar traded lambs, rams, and goats with you. Traders from Sheba and Ramah in South Arabia carried on business with you in premium spices, precious stones, and gold. Haran, Canaan, and Eden from the east in Assyria and Media traded with you, bringing elegant clothes, dyed textiles, and elaborate carpets to your bazaars. The great Tarshish ships were your freighters, importing and exporting. Oh, it was big business for you, trafficking the seaways. Your sailors roam mightily, taking you into the high seas. Then a storm out of the east shatters your ships in the ocean deep. Everything sinks. Your rich goods and products, sailors and crew, ships, carpenters, and soldiers sink to the bottom of the sea. Total shipwreck. The cries of your sailors reverberate on shore. Sailors everywhere abandon ship. Veteran seamen swim for dry land. They cry out in grief, a choir of bitter lament over you. They smear their faces with ashes, shave their heads, wear rough burlap, wildly keening their loss. They raise their funeral song, who on the high seas is like Tyre. As you crisscrossed the seas with your products, you satisfied many peoples. Your worldwide trade made earth's kings rich. And now you're battered to bits by the waves, sunk to the bottom of the sea. And everything you've bought and sold has sunk to the bottom with you. Everyone on shore looks on in terror. The hair of kings stand on end, their faces drawn with haggard. The buyers and sellers of the world throw up their hands. This horror can't happen. Oh, this has happened. Amen.